Hi, my name is Jessica Flem. I'm from Kansas City, Missouri, and I'm 40 years old. Um, I have a 2.5-year-old daughter, and we got pregnant relatively easy with our second child, and we were super excited um, to have another baby. Um, we went to celebrate in Maine for my 40th birthday, and we're just really excited to be able to have a sibling for our daughter. Um, I felt great. I felt so much better than my first child. With my pregnancy, I hardly had any morning sickness, so I was elated about that. And due to my age, at 12 weeks, we did some testing, just a blood test for Downs, and in the last couple of years, they've opened up that test a little bit to test for other markers. And so I got a call at 14 weeks, which is a little earlier than some people find out, but at 14 weeks, I got a call saying we tested positive for trisomy 13. Um, so we, of course, wanted a second opinion. So we got another blood test, and it also came back positive for trisomy 13. So at 18 weeks, we went to a perinatal level 2 sonogram um, with the hope that maybe the blood test was wrong. Trisomy 13 has fewer cases, so the level margin of error for that particular test was about 8.5%. So we thought maybe there was still hope that it wasn't correct, and the sonogram confirmed that it was in fact true, and there was a brain condition, a heart condition, a cleft palate, an additional finger on his right hand, and a rocker foot were the things that they could tell us at 18 weeks. So it was pretty devastating, obviously, and my husband and I just started praying more so than we already had been, and chose to deal with it pretty privately, just within our family and a few close friends, at least at the beginning. And then I was referred to a perinatal hospice organization called Alexander's House from a mom that I actually didn't know very well, but a close friend of mine did know her well and asked if she could share our story. And so I was introduced to Patty here at Alexander's House through this mutual friend. And the level of comfort and counsel that they provided has been really life-changing for me. Um, we were, of course, asked to abort by both places where we did the blood test. Both genetic counselors asked us to abort more than once because the survival rate was so low for trisomy 13, and we don't believe in abortion, so that wasn't really an option for us, and we just chose to just surrender everything to God and work closely with Alexander's House, which provided us just a lot of counsel, and we really got to meet other moms or families, either over email or in person here, that had gone through the same experience, that had maybe, were already on the other side of losing their child, and could give us words of comfort and just experiences in their faith that helped them get through something like this. So not only was Alexander's House good for counsel and getting us through meeting other families, but Patty was also present at our birth for Isaac, our son, who was stillborn actually at 29 weeks. I developed preeclampsia, which is just something that happens sometimes when you're over 35, and my blood pressure was so high they admitted us to the hospital. So we were thankful that we were already in the hospital. We were able to see Isaac on a couple of sonograms before he passed away, and Patty was there with us the day of his passing and the day of his stillbirth to be a liaison between our room and where our family was in the waiting room. Just because my husband didn't want to leave the room, he wanted to be with us until we were ready to have company. Yeah, we were actually very surprised that the doctors asked us to abort. It was sort of, I guess, startling. We didn't feel like there was any risk to me, or, you know, it was a life, and we just felt. So we actually, the first blood test we had done was at one location, and the second one was at another location. The first location was very pro-choice, and the second location, the genetic counselor that we talked to was pro-choice. But when we got into the room where they actually did the sonogram that revealed Isaac's, I guess, abnormalities, she applauded us for being pro-life and, you know, opened her heart to us a little bit and cried with us. And even when we were in the hospital, there were some nurses that were very much pro-life that prayed with us and that cried with us. And I think that experience we were not expecting, and it was, I feel like God sent us those nurses for sure. So I think if you can find a pro-life doctor or you know, just anybody along your journey, it's really going to help. And if you can even read to remind yourselves why pro-life is your choice, that's also really helpful. We read a couple of books that really helped me. Part of what we learned from partnering with Alexandra's House and some of the moms here was that having a memorial service or a funeral for our son was absolutely appropriate. Even though he hadn't had the opportunity to, you know, meet anyone yet, the love and just, I guess, support that we had from lots of people. Patty encouraged us to open a Caring Bridge website, which we did once we were admitted to the hospital. So a lot of people were finding out for the first time what we were going through by reading that Caring Bridge site, which I probably never would have opened had she not encouraged us to do it. And so we had planned on maybe having a private ceremony with just the grandparents only, and instead we opened it up to friends and family, and just the outpouring of support that we got. Our service had the overflow room had to be opened, and we were just really, really grateful that we had that memory and that day. And Patty was there too to support us, and just, I don't think, other than Faith, the organization that Patty runs with Alexandra House, and just the whole concept of perinatal hospice is, it's amazing. I don't think any couple, whether they have a strong faith or not, can get through something like this without people that have been through it before, and someone like Patty that runs this organization that is able to just comfort you, whether it be with scripture or, you know, she has the medical background, so just talking through that and other experiences she's had with other moms that can relate to our story too. She gave us a lot of just guidance that we wouldn't have gotten from our OB, we wouldn't have gotten from specialists. She just really was almost like a second mom, or somebody that you can talk to about really personal, tough things that you might not want to talk to a parent about because they're also grieving. I think one of the biggest things for us with being pro-life and going the route that we did, you know, Isaac is buried in the children's cemetery, and just to be able to go there and talk to God and talk to Isaac, to me, is so healing. if I didn't have that,
Yeah.
I would not probably be sitting here.
Yeah.
It would be a lot more difficult, and I think that any mom that doesn't have either a perinatal hospice or pro-life people around her during this process, it's obviously society tells us it's easier to go the other route. But I'm here to tell you, like, obviously I would want to change the outcome and have my son be alive, but I know where he is, and it's comforting to, just be surrounded by people that have those same beliefs.